All right.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm doing, hold on, the ceremonial turning on all the fucking audio. Okay, I think I got it.
Remember, that's our Rad Batch New Year's resolution. Don't you forget it.
I still, see, this is what happened when I did it live from, not here. I didn't have my Post-it notes. So
Gotta have your Post-it notes.
I have them now. I've turned on the fucking audio. We should be good to go now. So, all right.
Alrighty.
We're on the countdown going to episode 2 of Book of Boba, so we have the first one to talk about. Woo!
It's a touchy subject among some circles.
Yeah.
To be fair, we all watched it together, and I have we recorded our reaction, and when it ended, we were all like, what?
That real-time reaction, that was full hype. I mean, I was literally falling asleep, but still. We were there, we were full hype, and then we watched it, and we got to the end, and it ended.
35 minutes.
35 minutes.
35 minutes. And I think that was the problem, though.
It was half an episode.
It was half a fucking episode.
That's the problem.
Yeah. That's my theory. My theory is that the episode tomorrow is really the second part of the first one, and it was probably meant to all be one episode, but it was probably too long for it to all be one episode, so they split it in where the spot that made the most sense to split it, but it just felt too short, yeah.
I have a lot of judgment that I'm reserving until we see tonight's episode.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think I am the only one alone in saying it was very disappointing. And it wasn't the content of the episode. Like, everything we saw was cool. I was into it. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird, but I'm here for it. I trust you. I trust the story. And then just very unsatisfying.
It was a little bit the content of the episode.
We had different expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. Because Joe and I read spoilers. Potential spoilers. So that fucked us over for pretty much the whole show. But there was an interview that said, like, basically all the trailer footage was from the first 15 minutes of the first episode, and that's clearly not the
Robert Rodriguez fucking lied, or he doesn't watch fucking trailers. I was trying to be as quiet as I could for as long as I could to see how long that lasted. Robert Rodriguez is a fucking liar, or he doesn't watch trailers, all right?
Or they recut everything, like the trailers and everything. I don't know. And maybe it was the first half of the first episode. No, that wouldn't have made sense either. I don't know.
No, it was just
they
wrong.
Said that there were fewer trailers. Is it possible it was just
that's
up to that?
true?
No.
Well, the first episode, the first trailer we got didn't have like a lot of the stuff that we're seeing that we saw later. That's true.
I think he was just trying to say we can't show you a lot in the trailers because so much is going to happen late in the season, and maybe he just like kind of went overboard with how he phrased it. I'm gonna go with that because I'm on board with Nikki. Like, I liked what was happening. I mean, him coming out of the Sarlacc was cool. It should have been probably longer because, like, it's a big deal.
They should have lingered on it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Like, it was cool, but it could have been more. I trust them. That's what it boils down to. Like Nikki said, I trust them to get it right, and that we're going to enjoy this show as it progresses along, and it's gonna be good. But I feel like we talked about this in chat a little bit. The season 1 premiere of Mando ends with the Grogu reveal, which everybody lost their shit over, and then season 2 of Mando, the premiere, is the fucking Cobb Vanth episode on Tatooine where they fucking kill the Krayt Dragon. Like, it's huge. It's big Star Wars.
And reveal Boba.
Can you imagine for a second just like if that that like they had aired that episode for us at a panel at Celebration.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Like just the crickets and oh my gosh, that would have.
I don't know. I think if it was aired at a panel at Celebration, the room hype catches up to you.
They show you both episodes. I bet they show you episodes 1 and 2 if they did it at Celebration. Because otherwise they know, oh, this episode 1 isn't going to hit like the other premieres did. Because it did not. It did not hit the other premieres.
And something I will say, and I'm going back to the beginning with the getting out of the Sarlacc, I'm really glad they didn't try to do something different than what has been like in the fandom zeitgeist for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't try to be fancy. It's like, nope, fist through the sand. That's what we're doing.
Patton Oswalt's fucking prediction.
I keep getting annoyed about this, and I feel like I'm the only one, and maybe it's just me being stupid, but like, Patton Oswalt's filibuster speech matches up so perfectly because Patton Oswalt had seen 15 fucking versions of this happen before.
I know.
All these. Patton Oswalt's a good Star Wars fan. That's why Patton Oswalt's monologue matches up so well.
No, I know.
100%.
Oswalt predicted this perfectly. I'm like, no, he didn't, you morons. You're just not a good Star Wars fan. And you don't realize Patton Oswalt do this shit for fucking 15 years already, just like the rest of us did.
So, I think most people are just having fun with it.
Like,
I really didn't think I was going to be this animated tonight.
I like how that's the thing you're mad about at this point.
Just like, I can't scroll through one social media app without someone like, oh my gosh, Patton Oswalt predicted BOBA. I'm like, oh my god, you fucking suck. I hate you.
All right, let's think about it though. How would they have extended that fucking scene?
I don't think they needed to extend it. I just think it needed to. He needed to linger more in the Sarlacc, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Show a little bit more of. I mean,
add more grandiose.
I don't really know how he got. Like, all right, here. Maybe I'm just dumb. What did he take from the Stormtrooper's helmet? Is it air or is it water?
I thought it was air.
I thought it was air.
Okay, because I don't know.
That's the impression I got.
Okay. All right,
fine.
Air. I'm good with that. If you guys think it's air, I'll roll with air.
Hold on. I just want to tell you, and I told you guys this in chat, but I really, really want in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show for him to toss that fucking stormtrooper in the Sarlacc, and that's how long it's been in there. I just want that to happen.
How else did it get in there?
The cycle will be complete. You know? Yeah, everyone's like, wait, where did the stormtrooper come from? It's like, well, you know, it's not like they haven't been all over fucking Tatooine for 20-something
years.
Yeah.
It was just that, and then like it's just very quick. Like he punches his arm through a part of the Sarlacc and like turns on the flamethrower. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm into it. And then it's just like, oh, here he comes, he's out, and it's like, all right. I mean, I love it. He's back. We knew he's back, but it just felt like they could have done a couple, like just like another minute and a half in the Sarlacc getting out, like would have made it a little more. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's such a big scene.
Did he kill the Sarlacc? Was the Sarlacc dead?
You know, that's what I was wondering too, though, because when he comes out, like none of the exterior parts of it were moving.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he did kill it, and I wonder if we'll find out anything about that later. But I think they really had to cut this down. Like, I think they had to edit it lean and mean because they had intended it to be one episode, and then they couldn't cut on, like, you know, anymore, so then ended up splitting it in half. So it might have been that these scenes were intended to be longer, but if they thought, like, they could tell the story they needed to tell without it being longer, they might have just cut it out. I don't know.
It was so cool. I just wish it was a little longer.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I've watched it. Wow. My husband's going to
Sarlacc scene in particular. The whole episode absolutely needed to be longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In particular, I wanted the Sarlacc scene to be a little longer. But, I mean, we were all kind of floored when it ended, and we were just like, oh, that's it? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I think I've watched it at least 10 times. And I did enjoy it more, for sure, after the first one. Because I wasn't,
I watched it 3 now.
I have watched it once.
Yo, you should have watched it again. It's better the second time for sure, though.
I'll probably watch it tonight or tomorrow for the next episode.
But there's a lot of little pieces in here, threads, that I think they're going to call back to, and it's going to be important later. Like the swoop gang that they see with the little kid Tusken. I think that's tying into the little bit we saw in the trailer. I mean, there's theories that child Tusken is the chick that we see in the trailer. It's possible. But I don't know. It's important somehow. That, the graffiti they put on the wall, shit. I should have wrote it down. It translates to, in Hadi's, I think either a number or a letter. Oh, I mean, it would be
interesting.
Translate, I think it's to a number, but I fucking blanked on it. And I figured out what the fucking Mac Champ was. I went through all of fucking Wikipedia. Like, what the fuck is this thing, right? Now, of course, I forgot what it fucking was. I'm gonna have to go through our chat to find the fucking link to it. But
everybody's mind went to Machamp, and I feel like I'm the only one who went to Goro. But
Goro was my first. Like, I'm like, this looks like some, Harryhausen Goro bullshit. But then everybody started calling it Mac Champ on TikTok, so it's stuck with me. I don't know. But I think there is a lot fucking going on that they have not, that the little tiny hints of what's gonna fucking happen, but it hasn't been revealed. So basically what we've seen is there's two plots going on right now. There's the past plot, and then there's like the current plot, right?
Yeah.
And so the past plot, like showing how we've gotten to this point, that was probably the main focus of the last episode, more than the current plot. And the current plot didn't seem like it went anywhere, and I think that's why we all are kind of a little unsatisfied.
I'm worried that's going to be a thing again tonight. I'm really worried that's going to be a thing again tonight.
We're definitely going to see more flashbacks, though, because we still got Tashi Station. We've still got him getting Slave 1 back. So, it's going to fucking happen. Oh, I fucking can't find this now.
I got it. It's called a Logra.
A Logra.
Logra?
Logra. And it was in I think the Obi-Wan story of that shit. The book that had all the little short stories in it.
Yeah.
A certain point of view.
Yeah, a certain point of view. I think it's in the Obi-Wan story in that book. They mention it. So I think that's what it was.
Yeah, somebody's already put it in for the Book of Boba episode 1, so it seems like you are not alone.
Lagra. I mean, I thought that thing was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. It was cool.
The CGI was weird, but I read yesterday, I meant to link you guys this, that it was like a tribute specifically to a monster from like another movie that was made a long ass time ago. Like, I'll have to dig it up and find it. But it was
like the Harryhausen monsters, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was like one of the pioneers of like stop motion and shit, and they used a lot of that in the original trilogy. I originally thought it was one of the things on the Dejaric board, but then I looked and I was like, no, it's not one of those. But
it moves
that would have
like
been
things on the Dejaric board.
That's because the Dejaric is all stop motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nikki. I'm sorry.
Because I think it would have been really cool to use a creature from the Djarin board, but what we got was still pretty cool. No regrets.
It was weird.
Another thing that I noticed, though, back in the current timeline, is when they got fucking those assassins that came after them. My theory, and I found a piece of a comic book that kind of like backs my theory. I'm pretty sure they're Crimson Dawn. I might be wrong, but they look just like the fucking Crimson Dawn guys in the comics.
I think you're onto it.
So I think
the more that we look into this, the more it seems like that's what's playing into.
Yeah, I think so. I caught up on the War of the Bounty Hunter comics this week just to make sure that I wasn't.
I gotta get my Marvel Unlimited access established.
It's not a bad series. I mean, comics are always in a weird spot compared to everything else, right? Especially when you see stuff that's going to happen in the comics and now they're kind of bringing that stuff into live action and people might get lost if they don't know shit all about the comics. So it's really weird. But I think that's what we got going on. My other big hot take theory is that it's not just Sarlacc stuff that Boba has to be in Bacta for.
Yeah.
I think something's going on there. Like maybe he's something with being a clone. I don't know.
That's my guess as well.
Yeah, I talked about this with some of my friends this week. Like, I know we always are like, oh, we're always like hard on Boba's an exact clone. Like, there's no advanced aging, so like you shouldn't have to worry about that stuff. But they've done a couple stories in the expanded universe where Boba was starting to break down just because he was a clone, not because he was advanced aging, but just being a clone in general.
Right.
He was starting to break down sooner than a normal human would, and so yeah, there's a good chance there's some of that at play as well.
And I wonder if that kind of shit is kind of why he's staying put. And I still don't buy that he's trying to be a fucking crime lord of Tatooine, like, for realsies. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that.
I think he's 50-50 on it.
I think that's what was so disappointing about the episode being so short, because I still feel like we haven't gotten a good idea of Boba's personality. Because, like, in the original movies, he didn't have one. He wasn't a person. He was a guy in a suit.
That's right.
And everybody was like, that's so cool.
But he was a cool guy. And we know this because of Return of the Jedi. But that's all we know.
He's just got the chin. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nope, I'm done. Moving on. We're not talking about that. But I feel like in the show, and you know, in the cartoons, he's a kid. And in Mando, he's just kind of a gruff, like, doing shit guy. And so I still feel like even now we still don't have a great grasp on his personality.
It's like he wants to do a crime lord but not do the crimes.
Yeah.
But also he shot Bib Fortuna in the fucking face.
Well, I mean, motherfucker deserved it. Let's be honest.
Oh, I'm not saying he did. It's like Fennec seems like she's much more ready to do the crimes.
I fucking love her. I love her right now. Like, my favorite meme right now is basically her, like, holding the sign. I'm going, you want me to kill him? That's her vibe right now, and I'm here for it.
I feel like that's me and Steve's entire friendship.
Want me to kill him?
I'm that person in the window, like, you want me to kill him? And Steve does that to me, too, to be fair.
It goes back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah. Joe, you definitely are not the person I call when I want to, like, calm down.
No.
Not the calm down friend.
He's the validation of your anger, friend.
He's the what are we fucking gonna do about it, huh?
Well,
yeah, let's get mad.
Whose car are we taking?
So I think that's why they're doing a lot of focus on the flashbacks, by the way, because I think that's where we're gonna see who he is and why he is that way now, right? He basically was this cocky, like, I'm the best bounty hunter in the fucking galaxy motherfucker, and all of a sudden, all of that is stripped away to fucking nothing in a second.
I'm just, like, surprised by how altruistic he is in the back. Like, offering to help the Rhodian, rescuing the kid. Like, he's...
I don't know if the Rhodian is altruistic and more opportunistic. Like
a fucking asshole? Like all Rhodians?
Well, that guy
but he's
don't be racist against Rhodians.
No, Rhodians are all assholes. I'm sorry. That's what it is. Just accept it.
But I think it's more opportunistic, that it's easier to do things with another person, like out in the desert necessarily, but also if he left him behind, it was somebody who could squeal on him. So, you know, it's easier just fucking take him and get him out of there, right? And have someone to have his back. I mean, even in Clone Wars as a kid, like, as a bounty hunter, he worked with a crew a lot. So, I mean, he doesn't clearly...
Didn't really even like the crew that much, either.
No. As a kid in Clone Wars,
that's what I'm saying. It's very opportunistic.
As a kid in Clone Wars, though, he also was very much oral compared to the rest of them.
And I think that's because that was Django. I think, Django probably had his code of honor and instilled that in Boba, and we don't really see that directly, but I think we're going to see between the lines of it, and that's why he is the way he is now. I mean, yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Is that entire 5-year period between falling into the pit and going to Din Djarin to get his armor back, is it all going to be with the Tuskens?
It could be.
I'm trying to think, because they're clearly pulling on some, like, Western tropes, like...
Lawrence of Arabia, too.
Yeah.
So it's possible. I mean,
like, it sort of seems like the Tuskens are like they're eventually going to be like, come hang out with us, like, be with us, And, like, that's weird to me. Not that the
I think that's coming early next episode.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he's been accepted, and they're going to kind of teach him their ways.
Yeah, I'm good with a training montage with the Tuskens. Like, hey man, this is how we do stuff. It's a little different than you do stuff type deal. Like, I'm good with that, but I don't think I'm good with Boba hanging out with the Tuskens for 5 years and then going to get his armor back. Like, that's weird.
Well, maybe he didn't even realize where it was, and he only kind of came about it by accident or heard about it by accident.
I'm wondering if...
Is there something that... do you think maybe he, like, resolves himself to, like, okay, this is who I'm going to be now, and then something happens to draw him back to the fray?
Yeah, I mean, something could have happened to those Tuskens. Maybe that tribe is going to get wiped out, or...
And I think it's going to... Whatever it is, I do think it's going to tie into his decision to take on that crime lord role.
Yeah.
I think whatever is going to happen with the Tuskens, it's
they're going to get killed by the Swoop Gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one possibility.
And the Swoop Gang works for Bib?
Or the
I think so.
Crimson Dawn.
I'm really hoping for Crimson Dawn. I want to see that brought back in, and, like, I want to see Kira.
I say, if you can't have Crimson Dawn without Kira, you can't.
I mean, they need to bring her back. She's been criminally underused in everything since Game of Thrones, so... Yeah, it's Dances with Wolves, it's Fern Gully, it's Lawrence of Arabia. I mean, this is a pretty big trope. And I think that's what we've got going on, and I think he basically got humbled.
Fern Gully? Who said Fern
No,
Gully?
I'm saying Fern Gully, because that's what it is.
I love it. I love that movie. By the way, Avatar is just Fern Gully.
It is.
If we're talking about Fern Gully, Avatar is just Fern Gully.
It is.
That movie terrified me as a kid.
I fucking love that movie as a kid. I don't know. But I also love the Ewok movie. But yeah, like, so I think, like, he just got really fucking humbled real fast, and then he gets accepted by the Tuskens. He realized nobody fucking came back for him. He had nobody in the fucking world that gave a shit about him, basically. So...
I mean, to be fair, would you go back for somebody you thought fell into a Sarlacc?
I mean, you would not expect them to come out. That's fair. It's fair. But, Bosk was on that fucking barge, for instance.
Bosk has known him since he's a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like Bosk is the one person to have beef with over that.
And then...
Like, everyone else, nobody else on that sail barge is trustworthy enough to be like, oh, they didn't come back for me.
Well,
like,
Max Rebo fucking made it out of there. He used his giant-ass fucking legs to flea hop out the fucking window, I guess. Because, guys, if you didn't know this, by the way... Because I didn't know this until this week, but Max Rebo plays his instrument with his fucking toes. Those are his feet.
I like how close to the camera Stacey got. She's like,
yeah, you just did the sit forward meme. He's just like, Max Rebo? All right, time to go. Let's do this.
The things that we think are his ears are his fucking hands and arms, man. All right, sorry. Yes.
Wait, hold. No. I gotta pull up. Hold on.
No.
He's like, that's not true.
There was an article that Pablo Hidalgo wrote for StarWars.com, like, back in, like, 2013, breaking down Max Rebo, and it is fascinating.
I don't like it.
I
don't
didn't
want
like
that.
it either. That's why when I found that out, I was like, holy fucking shit, is that for real?
Because the Max Rebo action figure from way back in the day, like whoever made the figure just decided he should have legs and stand up, and that's not at all what he actually looks like. And it was like a big deal in the fandom that they effed up his action figure, and that wasn't what he looked like.
Because we think that he sits inside like this contraption, right, and plays, but no, he's not sitting inside of it. Like
he's on a cushion.
You're right. He's on a cushion. Yeah.
He's.
So anyway, he was on the fucking sail barge. He could have, you know.
Oh yeah, Max Rebo's gonna come save Boba. Come on.
With his weird elephant hand.
Band heroes, okay, of Tatooine. That's a whole thing. But
I am unhappy about this.
Yeah, I definitely thought he was sitting inside that weird piano thing.
I don't.
Oh no, it's
okay, I feel like Mandela effect.
But yeah, I don't know. So I think something happens. Maybe it's when he finds Fennec that he realizes shit's going on. Like that, I don't know.
That would be 5 years later. So then that would mean he's still hanging out with the Tuskens 5 years later.
Something like, but that's what I'm thinking. Like he decided he wasn't gonna go fucking deal with that shit, and then maybe Fennec brought him new information or something.
That doesn't sit right with me. That does not match up with who he is.
But who is he?
Yeah, well, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're thinking old EU, that's all fucking wiped off the board.
Yeah.
Well, we've got, Jose in the chat saying he's going to go all John Wick, which, okay.
That's what I thought, because this is a fucking Robert Rodriguez production.
They're going to kill his Tatooine dog, his Tusken dog.
Oh, I bet they will. The weird little hound thing.
No! Oh, I love the Massive. He's so
Is that
cute.
what those things are called?
Yes.
Massive.
Yeah, I used to think they were called act dogs, but I guess
it's the dog version of jizz. You change one letter and you're good. From Mastiff to Massive, from Jazz to Jizz.
But you know, we have some other threads here too. What if who was Fennec on Tatooine to meet in the first place?
She's there.
That's right. She's. Yeah, Mando's there to, well, not to assassinate her, but like.
He tracks her down.
Yeah.
No, he goes there. Doesn't he go there for repairs?
Yeah.
He goes there for repairs, and then the guy, the new bounty hunter.
So he agrees to help, but so she's on Tatooine. She's probably supposed to be meeting somebody, right?
Presumably. Or she's hiding out.
Followed him there.
I think she said something in that episode about like she had somebody waiting or whatever. I don't know. So the two options are she was going to go to Bib Fortuna, and then she later decides to go murk him with Boba because whatever. But the other one is that she works for Crimson Dawn.
It's possible.
In Clone Wars, she was working for the Kaminoan, right?
Yes, the one that tried to get her to get Omega back.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! She knows Boba's sister.
Oh yeah, she
like
does.
I wonder if that's gonna come up at all. I completely forgot about all that.
It's the meme, Stacy. You've seen the meme where Fennec says to Boba, "You look nothing like your sister," and Boba says, "My what?"
Yeah.
Come again.
So there's a lot of crazy threads that they can fucking tie together with this shit. So I think I think somebody did him fucking wrong. I think he wants to get back at them. He's got history with Crimson Dawn already from the comics. So if he knows that Crimson Dawn is behind all this shit and this is just some fucking ploy to draw them out, that'd be really cool.
Yo, someone send me that comic so I can read it tonight before the next episode.
I have the physical one, so I cannot
Someone
send it
with
to
their Marvel Unlimited.
If it's ongoing, Marvel Unlimited is only updated to the most 6 months ago to the day.
If nothing else, you can read the synopsis probably on Wikipedia at this point, I bet. So,
all right.
I mean, it's... If you must. If you must. But, Yeah, I'm hoping that's where this fucking goes, and I think at the end of his whole revenge saga, that he's gonna decide that he's gonna be a big boy Mandalorian and tie back into Mando season 3. Show's frozen.
Yeah,
That's
Mando
what I
season
got.
3 for sure.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay.
We missed you.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Okay. Couple of things I want to hit on. Rhodians are all assholes. That one more than any of the others. And
check.
Sam Witwer voiced that Rhodian. Is that what I read?
Yep.
That Rhodian's voice is so annoying. It's so great. It's perfect. It's like a perfect amount of annoying and asshole. Like, it's great. Good job, Sam Witwer. I have learned by watching this episode 3 times that my wife, Stacy, hates Tusken Raiders. She's like, why do you have to be Tatooine? Why do I have to hear this sound? She hates the sound. It's the sound. It's the Tusken Raider sound.
Well, okay.
Yes, I know. Like, I was literally watching it again last night because I wanted to prep for this episode, and she was like drifting off, and then the Tuskens came on, and she was immediately angry about the Tuskens.
And I'm sure you will do nothing with this information.
No, I would never.
You won't dedicate an entire day of the week to just
Tusken Tuesday.
Tusken Thursday? Tusken Tuesday? Well, let's figure that out. Why are the wannabe maybe Crimson Dawn ninjas doing parkour the entire time that they're on screen?
It's cool.
Because they're assassins.
I'm like, you don't have to run on the side of that wall. You could just run in a straight line and be even faster. You know that, right?
It's to confuse them. It's the confusion.
Joe, if you could run on a wall,
doing parkour.
If you could run on a wall, tell me you wouldn't run up a wall every chance you got.
I would not.
Nah, I don't believe you.
If they weren't actually doing parkour, no one yelled parkour.
I did. True. I yelled it for them.
Does that count?
Maybe they get away if they don't run up every damn wall that they walk by or run by. What else? This has to be discussed. When you're surrounded in a circle by people wielding shields and you have a jetpack on, you should use your jetpack.
He needed his helmet on.
Nope. Don't buy that. You got gauntlets. All them gauntlet buttons, you telling me one of them doesn't activate your jetpack? I'm pretty sure Din activates his with his gauntlets.
Has he hold on. Has he used his jetpack at all?
I don't think he used it in Mando.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes.
What, he did?
Maybe.
Yep.
I think he did.
He did.
Okay. I was gonna say maybe he has
so
jetpack
it's not PTSD.
Yeah, but I think Din, even though he did it with the gauntlets, I don't know. I thought it was part of it. You needed the helmet HUD. I don't know. Maybe not.
I saw someone say that today, and it's like I understand like that's where your mind maybe goes. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Maybe he felt like if he went up in the air, he'd be really exposed.
I found it really interesting because I've always said ray shields are a Jedi's only weakness. It's good to know it's everyone's only weakness.
I mean, when they turtle you in like that.
Ray shields? We're smarter than this.
Yeah.
What else? I feel like the people at the what is it? Is it a casino? Is it a casino they go
It's definitely a fucking brothel, by the
way. Slice of Paradise, the
Sanctuary.
casino.
Sanctuary.
I feel like they intentionally put all that money in his helmet so he wouldn't have access to his helmet.
Oh, I agree.
Yep. That was the vibes I got.
You don't think that was like the bribe custom by the they just were used to doing it?
I don't know. I didn't get the drift from that Twi'lek that she was not okay with him. Like she actually seemed like cool, like whatever. Like she didn't seem like she had bad intentions, but it just seems like it works out too easily that his helmet's full of money and he can't put his helmet on right when he needs to put his helmet on.
I mean, and that could have been why the assassins were waiting right there, not because they were in on it more because they knew how it was gonna happen. So they're like, this is the
Yeah,
perfect
because
place to lay a
Boba
trap.
definitely seemed to know what was going to happen when he handed them his helmet.
Yeah, I feel like that might have just been the culture of the bribes. I mean, it seems like you walk in there like, let's service your helmet. That seems like a thing they might ask people, weirdly. And to hose down your Gamorreans.
That seemed a little harsh.
I mean, if anything was a trap, it might have been that one, because they're like, oh, well, let's hose them down and feed them out back and get them out of the way.
I agree with Joe. I think it was.
It felt weird.
Yeah, it felt weird.
I think just based on Boba's reaction of like, yeah, I'm going to hand them my helmet, that he was expecting that, but I still do think that they were in on it, and it was hey, when he comes back from here, he's not going to have his helmet.
He seems extremely cocky, and maybe now he's been humbled a little bit.
I'm wondering if he's as cocky as he is because he thinks his reputation is intact after being gone for 5 years.
Yeah, and is realizing it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That green Twi'lek. Star Wars Twitter would like to know that it's about fucking time they made a hot male Twi'lek.
Hold on. Hold
this
on. I rewatched Solo this weekend, and there is one inside the Crimson Dawn ship.
Yes. Both him and the one in this most recent episode are wearing female ear cones.
Yeah. Because I thought the green one was the first one, but then I watched Solo this weekend, and I spotted in the background a Dryden ship. I'm like, wait! There's another one! Huh.
Are we just going to get, like, a shift in live action to hot Twi'leks have ear cones?
You know,
why not?
I feel like for Twi'leks, it's kind of like it's I don't know. This is like a weird thing to compare it to, but I feel like it's a dominance thing. Like some fish, when they're the dominant fish, develop these big head things, right? And like some of the male Twi'leks have, that like even Bib kind of had like the weird big head thing going on, and like some of the Twi'leks in the Senate had that. And then the more submissive ones don't?
In the Solo visual dictionary, whatever they call the Solo version of it, it specifically says that male Twi'lek is wearing fake ear cones.
Oh.
And it's intentionally playing with gender because they're dancers and the choreographer wanted to.
I was going to ask if there was a gender thing going on there, like a non-binary type deal.
Or just like
deciding I want female ear cones, like
why not?
Well, and if it's a traditionally feminine role, and part of taking on that feminine role as a male Twi'lek is to put on that aesthetic, I could see that. That's a choice.
Typically, males are very large, but that's also because the ones that we've seen previously were large because they were rich. It was almost like if you're not a giant fat Twi'lek, then you don't have any position of power or riches type deal.
Yeah, but it's like the things on their head got bigger.
Yeah,
the more powerful they were, right?
Well, Orn Free Taa has 4.
Wait, is he a Twi'lek?
Yeah, he's the senator from Ryloth.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the other guy. I'm thinking of the guy that hangs out with the Emperor.
Great name.
That is.
Because he has like horns too. He's not a.
Yeah, he's a Chagrian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, so the senator had 4?
Yeah, Orn Free Taa has 4 Leku.
Huh. Maybe I missed it because he's just so rotund that is all I paid attention to. He's ginormous. Yeah. I mean, what about Hera's dad? Hera's dad had the bigger forehead, though, right?
Yeah.
We need to discuss this as a podcast because this is like our thing. Is the music being played jizz music?
I don't believe that was jizz music.
Because the name of the song is Cantina Latina,
Yes.
So
and it was written by John Williams.
Well, it's the Cantina theme played on guitar by Robert Rodriguez.
is Jabba Flow considered jizz music?
I think it is.
That's more like
Jabba Flow is more like Whaler
reggae.
music.
Yeah, and this
But
felt
they're
a little
jizz
more like
wailers.
bossa nova to me.
They're jizz whalers. It doesn't have to be jazz music.
It's a whole different genre of jizz. It's a sub-jizz genre. I don't know.
There's a droid.
Listen,
Their drummer is a droid, an R2.
This guy was in it. He was there. So
Yes, there was a myth, and there was an R2 unit playing drums.
So
and that wasn't Rex. It is
not DJ Rex.
Yeah, but it is a similar model.
The band that plays Jabba Flow in Maz's Castle does not have a jizz box or a clue horn.
Wow.
So okay, so it's not jizz.
But this is.
I don't know. I don't.
I have so many jokes I can make about asking the question of whether or not this is jizz, and none of them feel appropriate.
We'll make a poll.
Huh.
We'll circle back to this.
I don't want to poll people asking if something is jizz.
We're just gonna ask him too with no context. He's like, was this jizz?
So none of the musicians are labeled as jizz whalers either.
But
Are we still talking about?
From which musicians? From the most recent episode?
No, from Maz's Cantina.
I was gonna say.
I was just comparing the two.
But what makes someone a jizz whaler?
Playing jizz music.
I think it's the music in their heart, Steve. You have to have jizz in your heart to be a jizz whaler.
There it is. I was waiting for it. We'll get over this. This is just going to be the thing that defines our podcast. When are we going to get into our hut discussion? Is that still to come?
He's still working on her thing.
Okay.
That's for it's for slow news week.
Yeah.
Or when we see a hut in this show, which might happen.
Yeah, I definitely could use some more data because right now it's mostly questions. There are some answers, some little factoids about like slug anuses.
All right. Well, so predictions for tonight, tomorrow. I don't know if I'm staying up tonight.
I
might.
I gotta go to work.
Oh yeah.
So.
I know you are, Joe. We know you are.
First night back at work since the holidays. I'm staying up.
My husband might murder me if I try, so we'll see. It might be in the morning, but I think we're gonna see Life as a Tuscan.
Rest of the fucking episode.
Yeah, the rest of the episode. This might have the flashback to Tashi Station, because we know that's gonna happen, because he's still wearing his white jumpsuit when that happens, right? So before he gets his new Tuscan threads that they're gonna give him, he raids Tashi Station. So that might be this episode. He's definitely going to the mayor this episode. And we know this because Verizon aired some crazy-ass commercial 20-second clip from this upcoming episode. And it's him in front of the mayor, which is the Ithorian. Who I think is working for Crimson Dawn. But, I don't know if we're going to find that part out this episode. But he's definitely going to him. He's bringing the assassin with him. And, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else we're going to fucking get, because the pacing's weird.
Yep.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about that again.
I will be shocked if we break 40 minutes.
I think we're going to get 45 minutes or more, and I will wear the wrong gif on my forehead next week if I'm wrong, but I think the episode would have to be at least 45 minutes to justify splitting it in two. So we'll find out.
And it really, like, this next episode is gonna do a lot to determine how I feel.
I'm worried that this is like a 2-part premiere, and it's still gonna leave us wanting.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the show is gonna really dive into the meat of it. But I'm afraid another week of like this talk and like this vibe on the internet is not gonna be good for this show.
Mm-hmm.
I trust them though. I trust them. So even if I'm still like, next week.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I watched all of Hawkeye, so.
And Hawkeye did get progressively better, but.
We're not doing that again. Hawkeye was the least watched Marvel premiere of all of the Marvel shows, the live shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
BOBA had a 17% higher watch for the premiere.
Yeah.
It isn't that much, but we'll see.
I still think, premiering at 3 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday morning is not helping them either.
Terrible.
Well, yeah, their premiere numbers are based on, I think it's like the first 5 days or something like that. Families or houses that watched it on Disney Plus in the first 5 days or something.
I mean, and if that's the case, I might be fully responsible for one of those percentage points just from my house, from how many times I watched it.
Stacey by herself is responsible for.
It's true. I was just picking it all apart. I mean, honestly, I feel like we're a prisoner of our own expectations with this show. And I think we all expect a lot of it. And so that's why it's kind of, it's going to be real hard for it to meet up with what we want. Because we want a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that when we started with Mando, we thought, okay, here's this little story about this Mandalorian bounty hunter in this big galaxy. And then very quickly, it was, oh no, this is big Star Wars. We're doing big Star Wars.
Yeah, and this might be little.
To the big Star Wars again, and maybe we're going back to the little Star Wars with Boba Fett, and that doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I mean, people were shitting on the internet and were like, we're all Star Wars when you're essentially giving us another Mandalorian story. But what they're forgetting is that Book of Boba is essentially Mandalorian Season 2.5. This is a continuation from that story that focuses on these characters, and at the end of this limited series, it's going to connect back to whatever Mando Season 3 is. It's not meant to be its own fucking thing, really.
My concern is at the end of all this that we're going to look at each other and go, he was better as a side character.
That was the risk of taking a character like Boba Fett and making them the main character.
It's true. Especially one that, like, in canon, was a man of mystery.
So, in order for what you're saying is going to happen, Stacey, to happen, they have to make him care or want to care about the conflict on Mandalore. Because if this is going to connect back, and we all think that Din is going to make a cameo in this show, probably at the end, then the entire point of this show has to show Boba Fett getting to a point where he's ready to leave all this other shit behind and go help his friends. That being Din Djarin.
And I think the way to do that is to connect it to his father's legacy.
It's basically the one thing he cares about.
Yep.
And I think that's a pretty easy way to fucking do it because...
The issue with this is, can Boba Fett be a badass along the way to getting that point and satisfy the fans?
I mean, he was a fucking badass in Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
He wrecked fucking face. So I think once we figure out why he wasn't... listen, he took the fucking brunt of those electro weapons. Like, they fucking were shot... they did some damage to him, but it just wasn't as brutal of a fight as what we saw in Mandalorian, so it kind of was a letdown comparatively. But it was still a pretty, decent fight. And there's something else going on with him, which is why he has to basically be in back all the fucking time. And when we know what that is, maybe, we'll be a little more accepting of how it's going. But, when you compare what we saw in this episode to how we saw him beat fucking ass in Mando, it's like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
That's like, what the fuck happened? I mean, something's happened, and they're going to tell us what's happened, but how long it takes them to fucking get there, who knows?
Hopefully not too long.
Hopefully tomorrow.
It just feels like they have a very delicate line to walk, because I feel like, especially on Boba Fett, the fandom is split into two groups. You have that one group that is like hardcore Boba Fett fans that have been wanting Boba Fett to come back all these 30 years, always have thought Boba Fett was a badass, always thought he was the best bounty hunter in the world. Like, always, like, you have that side of the fandom, and then you have always had the other half of the fandom who's been this is just a dude who fell in a Sarlacc pit. He didn't, like, barely have him speaking lines. He sucks. Like, that's the two parts of the fandom on Boba Fett. You have the hardcore people that like him and the hardcore people that think he's nothing,
That's
so
my
now
house.
You have to find a way to please both of those groups.
That's my house. I think you know which one I am, and my husband is the other guy. But he ate his fucking words after Mandalorian last season. He's like, all right. Yeah. This guy's cool. So
yeah, so you really don't want the "I told you so."
No, I don't. But also, he liked this episode. But he agrees with me that he felt like it was a half episode, because he's very clinical at the way that he looks at storylines and all that shit, because he has like pilot writing, like screenplay writing experience and shit like that. So he's looking at it from like that perspective. So he's like, yeah, that, like, structurally, this is half an episode, right?
Yeah.
So, but he really liked it. He didn't see anything wrong with how Boba was, but he also doesn't know all the backstory and the baggage and all that shit either. He knows the original trilogy. He knows what he saw in The Mandalorian. He knows this, right? He doesn't know any of the other stuff. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be the EU boys.
Yeah,
They're going to be the problem.
I was just going to say, this might come down to whether or not you can drop your expanded universe baggage, like, at the door with this show. And there's a lot of people who are not going to want to do that.
No. But I think they're going to do, like, they've been able to cherry pick from the EU really well with Mandalorian. And I think they'll be able to do it here. But, I mean, and this is also what comes down to is, like, I don't know if you should ever use Revan as a fucking character, because it's one of those characters that I don't think you'll never please everybody. No amount of cherry picking things, everybody's going to be like, no, that's wrong. You can't do that. And I think that's what's going to happen with Boba.
I did think it was interesting when Robert Rodriguez was talking about this project. He said that he usually stays away from large franchises because there's no way you can please everybody. And I'm like, well, you picked the wrong one to dip your toe into then with this character.
Boba Fett's his favorite character. So yeah. I think he's going to do it well. I just really think they did a really stupid thing not airing the first two episodes together. I mean, they did it with Hawkeye.
Even with that, I'm still really concerned. I totally have faith that this show is going to end up being good and take us places that, like, satisfy us and make us super hype and super excited. But I'm really concerned that it's not going to happen after this second episode, and that's going to lose a good amount of the fan base.
Yeah.
They're going to be grumpy for a fucking week.
That's all it takes. All it takes is them getting through the flashback stuff, caught up to where we are, a little bit more happening in the now period, and then you have to introduce what's happening next that has us excited for this continuing. Like, what's his next, what's the foe? Like, is there another, is Boss going to show up and challenge him for the seat? Is Crimson Dawn going to be there? Like, officially, is Kira going to show up?
Yeah.
Like, if the end of the second episode was something big like that, I think you draw in a lot of those people who were not satisfied by the first episode, and maybe even most of the second episode if it goes the same way.
Yeah.
But if you just, like, do the same thing again for the second episode and kind of make it this, okay, here's this thing, now we're caught up, now the rest of the series is going to take off, like, down the road, that's probably fine, but I just don't think it's enough for... It's just what the fandom got used to with Mando, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We've
been spoiled.
Yeah, we have.
But, I mean, they'll be grumpy for a fucking week, but they're still going to watch the third fucking episode. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to lose them.
think you underestimate how salty the fans can be.
Yeah. I don't think you wait 30 years for Boba Fett to come back and quit after 2 episodes if you're not happy. You will watch the 3rd episode begrudgingly.
I'm already seeing dudes be like, the real Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc, actually. Like, I'm already seeing that.
I mean, we were going to see that anyways.
Yeah.
There were some... There's always going to be...
I think it's just the not hardcore Star Wars fans, the people who just want something to watch on Disney Plus and aren't interested interested by it. Like, that's the group
yep.
I lose, you know?
It sounds like what we're saying is we really hope LFL doesn't validate the fuckboys.
That's right. Don't let them win, Lucasfilm. Also, you need to borrow some of Marvel's marketing people. Okay.
Please.
If I keep talking directly to the camera, will they listen? I don't know. Yeah. I think it's gonna be okay. This is a mini series. This is not something that's intended to have a second season. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna, like. They're gonna tell the story they want, and it's gonna lead us into the next fucking part of the story, which is Mando 3. Cause yeah. Although I heard a rumor that Rosario Dawson is filming something, or was filming something Star Wars in December. Was she filming stuff for Ahsoka? Was she filming Mando season 3? Who knows?
We never talked about that leak of the LFL Christmas gift, did we? That had the Fate of the Jedi thing on it?
I don't.
Oh, it was Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi. We never talked about that.
Yeah, we have no fucking clue what it is.
A couple of the we don't. A couple of the insiders started reporting that there was something filming now at Pinewood now.
That's true.
Like, that they weren't aware of until right now, but they don't know what it is. That it's an LFL project.
Right. Pinewood in England. And we know, I mean, originally I thought maybe it was the Acolyte, but I guess the Acolyte isn't really going to start filming until I think May is their permit. They, somebody found it. So it's going to start filming over the summer over there. But that's not what's filming there now. But whatever Rosario Dawson was doing, it was in California, where they film Mando and Boba and all that shit. So she was doing something in December. So I'm guessing it's for Mando season 3.
These Han showing up in Boba Fett rumors just persist.
I know. And I don't want it to be true. I don't want it.
Okay, so what will make you more upset? Just Han being in it in general? Or the fact that it might be young Han and it won't be Alden?
Wait. It would be young Han, but not Alden?
It would be de-aged Harrison Ford. And
I find that worse.
That would be worse?
For me.
Well, you haven't liked really any of the de-aging characters, especially.
They look wet.
Let's not talk about Moist Tarkin.
Especially Moist
Tarkin.
That's the one that gets me. That's the best one of all of them.
He looks moist.
It is the best one. It is the best one.
Not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want it to happen. I don't think they need to fucking drop Han in here. Like, to me, that's gratuitous.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you're going to drop anything, have the Falcon show up. Just in the background.
And with Lando. Even. I'd take that. Lando.
I feel like Kira is enough. We don't need everything to tie back to the original trilogy.
I mean, Boba ties back itself, you know?
Yeah.
Let it be Hondo. He can have the Falcon.
Han has the Falcon in this time. This is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Why would
Hondo doesn't have it yet.
Han would have the Falcon in this time period.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He still had it up until...
Stolen.
I know, but when was that?
I mean, not that long before TFA, I don't think. A couple of years.
I'll have to look that up. For some reason, I thought it was a lot longer because some of the novels, like the Leia novel, like said he was like doing like a swoop racing league or some kind of racing thing.
It starts when I start to think about all the young versions of the characters that are in the sequel trilogies being in like this era, it like starts to make me get like weird feelings. Like there's a young Poe running around, right?
What about
That would
Jason
be 5.
Syndulla?
Ish.
When are we going to see him?
Probably in Ahsoka.
Yeah, with Hera.
I hope so. That would be cool. See, I'm good with that. I don't need to see a young Poe.
There's just so many characters like that running around that they could play with, but I kind of hope they don't for this show.
I don't think Rey has been born yet.
No, she either is just about to be or yeah.
Well, I mean,
Ben
that does
Solo
mean that
has been.
that means
Ben Solo, I think, is a baby around this time.
There's Palpatine clones running around then fathering children. So, yikes.
I don't see where Han. I mean, I see where Han fits in with Boba and the general idea of it, but I just don't feel like this show is the place for that. But
it just seems unnecessary. Like, what would be the point?
If I told you that Luke shows up at the end of Mando season 2, do you think the same thing though?
I did think, remember, because we were all talking about who the fuck is the Jedi that's gonna come, and everyone's like, oh, it's Luke, and me, I was just like, man, I hope not.
We just couldn't believe it.
But also was like, but why would it be? But then when it happened, and I was bawling my eyes out at the beauty of the fucking thing, and all these years later, I'm not mad about it. It made sense. I get it. This one?
I will keep my thoughts to myself. I think you guys know my thoughts on Luke at the end of season 2.
He looked dry.
I mean, they needed
to
fix
it. For skin conditions.
It's either they're moist or they're dry. I just thought his eyes looked dead.
Need to go rub on Tarkin a little bit.
I mean,
I just think he didn't need to be there.
Oh no.
You knew that.
I know. I just don't want to do it again.
I'll do it again.
I mean, they could have had anybody else show up for him, and I might have been happy about it too, though.
Yeah.
You know,
I was hoping it was going to be Quinlan Voss.
I mean, I thought it might have been Ezra.
Convinced them all it was Plo Koon is just fucking amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. But, I mean, I get why it would have been Luke, and I'm okay with it. I mean, we're going to have to figure out, like, are we ever going to see him again in this show? Like, clearly at some point, Grogu's going to come back. So where's Luke and all that? And that point, it might become too much. Like, how much of Luke is enough, you know?
I saw a cut together of people in Star Wars saying, "I'll see you soon, I promise," and none of them ever saw them again. So.
Oh no, teenage Grogu is coming back to save Din Djarin's ass. That's
just like teenage Anakin went back to save his mom.
Ow.
Don't make me sad.
I'm just saying that Star Wars has a reputation. The familial relationships.
That's true. You know what? Star Wars makes me sad more than anything else.
Is it their marketing?
Well, that. But, like, Kanan.
Mm-hmm. That was in it. It was right before the run. It's like, we'll see each other again, and then
Kanan's fucking death, like, wrecked me.
Kanan, you weren't going to see shit.
Yeah.
I named my son after him. Well, I mean, it's his real name, Caleb. I mean, that's how much he wrecked me.
That's a good Star Wars name.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when somebody at a troop comes up and is like, "This is our son, Anakin." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'd bully that kid.
And Joe is frozen on my screen.
He's I think he got a phone call. Well, it is 9:15.
That's true. It's true. All right. So last minute predictions. I think we're gonna get Tosche Station, Mayor. Maybe they'll name drop Crimson Dawn. My husband was like, if they were Crimson Dawn, why wouldn't they have said it? Like, why wouldn't have Boba been like, oh, look, they hired Crimson Dawn or some shit? And I'm like, it's like, and to me, I think it's because I think he already knew.
And we also haven't gotten, like, the reaction scene yet, so.
Right. So I think it's all, like, we just haven't seen, like, Boba clearly knows what the fuck is going on a little bit. He knows the network, right? That's how he knew where all the vassals were. He knew, like, who's talking to who. So if he knows Crimson Dawn's a player here, he knows they're a fucking player on the planet. So I hope we get a name drop and we see something about that, or Bosk, or some other fucking cool thing that's gonna hook people, but
we'll see that hook. We'll see if the hook is there. They have options for hooks.
I really hope the hook is there.
Hot Tusken Raiders. I mean, I didn't know Thirsty Tusken TikTok was gonna be like a thing that I inadvertently joined, but I'm there.
You're on Thirsty Tusken
TikTok? Yeah, I don't know how I got there. Area. But I'm there.
Like on purpose?
No. Like, it just started showing up, and then I kept liking them, so now, you know, I can't
that's how it goes.
I mean, to be fair, these Tuskens are probably the coolest fucking ones we've seen so far, so I'm about it. I'm not thirsty for them. Thirsty Gamoran TikTok, that is a special place, though.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of posts about, like, how much people are appreciating those Gamorreans not being, like, odd looking and looking like the world's strongest man competitors.
It's true. It's true. I can see that. Well, Maul can't be the big bad of the franchise because at this point he is dead. So, no more Maul for Crimson Dawn at this point.
I mean,
it's
you
Kira.
Say that. We've seen Maul die before.
His body is on Tatooine.
His body is on fucking Tatooine.
I am never predicting that Darth Maul is dead again.
Give me like extra robot Maul.
Hold on. We already know.
I should have stayed booted from the call.
We already know, though, that the fucking witches of Dathomir can raise people from the dead. Anyway.
They're all dead too, though.
Zombie Maul. I want it.
They aren't all dead.
I want it now.
They are, but they aren't. Because I think Morgan Elsbeth from the Ahsoka episode of Mando is Dathomiri. So, I don't know. There's
if they knew they were doing live action shows, they would have never killed Maul off in animation.
They didn't know. That's the only excuse. They didn't know. It makes me so mad.
Yep.
Because you can go on and on about how beautiful that scene in Rebels was.
It really was.
But if they know that they have live action fucking shows coming out, there's no way they do that. No way.
You think they'd flash back to it?
Kenobi show.
You think they'll fucking flash back to Kenobi, like his point of view of the whole thing and the live action show?
Oh god, that would be amazing.
No.
I feel like you could do that really well.
They could.
They could. I don't think they will. I think the focus of that show is going to be very much on something else. So
his bastard son Corky.
Why you like this?
All right, we good to.
All right, yeah. We got to wrap it up. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to chat. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 6 hours. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Don't let me down, Boba Fett.
If I wake up randomly at 3 a.m., I'm waking you up, Nikki.
Please don't.
Set an alarm and then say you woke up.
Please don't.
I wook up randomly last night at 2 in the morning, so I'm like, maybe if that happens again, I will fucking watch it. But
no.
You got to work tomorrow, Steve?
Yeah, we go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah. So.
Gross.
All
right, everybody. That's that.
Bye, friends.
We'll see you on the other side of Book of Boba episode 2.
Later.
Bye.